So I was using this build with Last Wish. I have Crown of Ages with 2 Jewels of Fervor. They don't have enhanced damage, but I really only need the IAS on it because I want to use Atmas Scarab instead of using highlords, while still using my fanaticism aura to reach max Zeal breakpoint for the attack speed. So I'm doing that, and I actually decided instead of using Last Wish to use Death. That way I get a ton of Crushing Blow. I can also use War Travelers instead of having to use Gore Riders or having to use Goblin Toes. Then I'm using Lava Gouts so that I get the enchant. And then the reason I'm not using Last Wish is because the Blinding Target and the Life Tap both counteract the amplified damage. Another thing that I do when I get to the bosses, even though decrep is really good for taking out crowds and stuff like that, when I get to Baal or when I get to Diablo, I take that and I throw it in my cube so that his curse doesn't override my amplified damage. So now I'm gonna do a Baal run and a Diablo run, Chaos run, and I'm gonna show you just how good it is. Now, for regular enemies, it's true that Grief would actually take out crowds and stuff faster, but for the bosses, I think that this is the optimal build out of anything. Now, if I was to do Ubers with this and I wanted to do Zealing Ubers, definitely do this. Maybe even throw on Drax, sacrifice some of the speed for a little bit of extra survivability. Probably not even throw on Drax, honestly. Probably keep it like this so that I have max Zeal breakpoint and also the survivability, because I'm going to get enough life tap out of this. And then some of the times they'll be amp damage, some of the times I'll just be life tapping. But without further ado, I'm going to show you what it's like.
Put that to good use.
Alright, so in case you didn't notice, fighting against Diablo, because of the low weapon damage from death, and because Diablo only has like 75,000 health, you're much better off using Grief on Chaos runs. That's just the way that it is. You're better using Grief or Last Wish because the amplified damage isn't really needed. But Baal's a different story because he has about 400,000 health, 450,000. I don't know the exact number. I'm not going to look it up at this moment. But watch this against Baal versus how it was against Diablo. Alright, so as you can see, Crushing Blow is a much more important attribute when the enemies have a much higher life pool. Another thing to note that I think is going to be a big change once they push patch 2.4, instead of having a Blessed Aim mercenary, it might actually benefit you to have an Act 5 mercenary with Battle Cry, because it's really going to make you hit him all the damn time. That's just a theory. I don't know what level Battle Cry it's going to be, because on my Barbarian it's like level 35 and it makes it so I almost hit, not almost, I'm pretty sure that my Barbarian hits Baal 95% of the time without having max attack rating or anything. He's got like 15,000 attack rating and he's hitting Baal constantly. Now, it doesn't say in the character screen because this is the lying character screen as it's known to be. But don't knock it until you try it. Once again, let me go through the stuff. It's Death, Lava Gout, Carrion Wind, Nosferatus, Ravenfrost, War Travs, Alma Negra. Shield is interchangeable. I would just make sure to avoid using Exile, because then that's going to take away from the effectiveness of the amp damage, because it's going to get overridden. Crown of Ages could be Griswold's Valor or whatever the name of the helmet is, And then I go with Chains of Honor for all the resistances. A lot of people like Enigma, but look how low the resistances are. And I honestly would not do, you could do Fortitude too. I prefer Chains of Honor personally. You could probably get slightly faster kill speed using Fortitude, but you're only going to gain, you know, you might do 3,700 damage. Probably less than that instead of 2,700, but it's the crushing blow that's the main thing. Gotta have the 2 IAS jewels. Really, I wouldn't put Enigma on this class even if I had Last Wish on here and I was going to be doing Ubers. I would rather have Chains of Honor or Fortitude for the simple fact that you need those resistances. And you can proc Fade as well and everything, but you're not really going to have time to like teleport out of tough situations sometimes, and you need that tankiness that you're going to get. So maybe you would go, and also when you're doing Ubers as well, you're not going to really keep your mercenary alive very well. You can't really count on that. So I would do either Chains of Honor or Fortitude with Last Wish, or with like Exile or something, or you'd have to sacrifice the attack speed by putting Drax on. But that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely for like cows or something like that, if you wanted to do other things with a Zeal Paladin, this would definitely not be the sword of choice. But for this in particular, I'm just showcasing an example of where Death or Last Wish are both better than Grief. Because you're not going to be able to have this much crushing blow without having G-Face and Goblin Toe, or G-Face along with Gore Riders, and then you're going to be sacrificing the 30 IAS from the helmet. So it's kind of a balancing act. I could have procced Fade and then used, you know, a different type of armor or whatever, but really the important thing is the 95 IAS breakpoint for the maximum Zeal, and then having a bunch of crushing blow in addition to that. Because Death and Last Wish both don't have any IAS on them, you're going to have to get that elsewhere. And that's going to be coming from this, it's going to be coming from the fanaticism aura, and then really that amplified damage is what takes out bosses with high health pools much faster. It's like equivalent to getting Deadly Strike, but it's applied over a period of time rather than at a percentage. It's constant, so every time you hit, you're getting that double damage over and over again. But everybody have a great day. Appreciate y'all watching the video. Consider subscribing if you liked it, or if you found it informative or anything like that, and stay tuned for more.